Okay, so picture this. Before everything we think of as history, before cities, before civilizations, even like before the very first humans walked the earth, there was this child. And she was buried, in silence for over 3 million years, just waiting. Under the African soil, it sounds like something out of a story, but it's real. Her name is Selim, and she was this 3-year-old girl who basically redefined how we think about evolution.
Yeah, it's truly incredible.
Yeah.
Because Salam, she wasn't human, not like us today, but she wasn't fully ape either. She's this amazing mix. You see it in her bones, her upper body. Still very much adapted for climbing trees, like an ape.
Yeah.
But then her lower body, well, that showed clear signs she was walking upright, which is, a huge step towards the human life. Her bones were so fragile, so tiny, but held these answers. Answers to questions way older than history itself. She helps bridge this massive gap in understanding hominins, that's the group, including us and all our ancestors, after we split from chimps.
Right. And that's really what we want to dig into in this deep dive. What exactly did Salam show us? What were the big surprises? Because scientists, they'd been debating for ages about, when did we really start walking upright? Or even, when did the building blocks for speech appear? Salam didn't just give clues. Her discovery it turned a lot of old ideas upside down. Real evidence that shifted the whole timeline. Okay, so let's jump into that first big thing.
Right.
Bipedalism. Walking on 2 feet. It's kind of the defining human thing, right? And for a long time, the main idea was that proper, efficient walking, like we do, that came much, much later. Maybe with species like Homo erectus or Homo habilis, long after Salam's time.
Exactly. That was the standard thinking. But Salam just completely rewrote that chapter. Her skeleton, it was just so incredibly preserved, and her little leg, bones, the femur, and the tibia, specifically, they showed it, unmistakably.
Showed bipedalism.
Yeah. Clear signs of walking upright. The angles of the bones, the way the joints fit together, even the shape of her knee, it all pointed to upright walking. And then there were her foot bones, too, especially the ankle joint. More proof.
Like what?
Well, they showed an arch starting to form and an alignment that's much better suited for walking on the ground efficiently, not just, occasionally standing up like apes might. So boom, this pushed the timeline for really committed bipedalism way, way back, significantly.
That is just astounding, isn't it? A 3-year-old kid, basically 3 million years ago, already built for walking. What does that even suggest, about their life, their environment? Especially if, like you said, her upper body was still good for climbing.
It points to this mosaic evolution idea, different parts evolving at different speeds.
Okay.
So she paints this picture of a species that was good at both. Good in the trees, probably for safety or food, but also increasingly good on the ground. They weren't fully ground dwellers yet, not like later hominins, but that upright posture was clearly becoming important. It really challenges that simple, linear idea of ape to human. It suggests adaptations layer on top of each other, maybe responding to changing environments, new food sources opening up on the ground.
So bipedalism wasn't maybe this single sudden leap, but more like a gradual advantage.
Precisely. Something that allowed them to exploit different parts of their world more effectively.
Okay. So early walking, huge...
Long before the house was built. It tells us something really fundamental about how our ability to communicate even started to develop millions of years before words.
Okay, so let's just recap the big takeaways here from Salam. This one tiny skeleton. First, she proved that our ancestors, Australopithecus afarensis, were walking upright much earlier and much more effectively than we used to think. We see that in her legs, her feet.
Yep. Committed bipedalism pushed way back.
And second, maybe even more startling, her skull base and that amazingly preserved human-like hyoid bone. They hint that the anatomical building blocks for speech were already starting to fall into place millions of years before actual language.
Absolutely. Her short life, captured in those bones,
Yeah.
it genuinely reshaped the whole narrative of human evolution.
Yeah.
She's so much more than just another fossil. She feels like a message from our deepest past. A tangible link showing us that these human traits walking, potential for complex sounds, didn't just pop up fully formed. They evolved piece by piece, this fascinating mosaic, over immense timescales. Her discovery forces us to rethink the whole timeline and even what we mean by human at these early stages.
And I guess that brings us to the thought we wanted to leave everyone with. Salam, this child, lived and died 3 million years ago, and yet she holds these secrets that are still helping us redefine who we are and where we came from. So the question for you is, what does this echo, this whisper from so long ago, actually mean for how you think about human origins, our shared history? Does it change your perspective on just how deep our roots go? And maybe how much more there still is to discover from those very first steps our ancestors took?